Well, folks, I tried to do a live stream this evening. I waited until it was about 8 o'clock so that it would come up at a reasonable time for folks in the United States. And it just, for whatever reason, I can't seem to make this work with the cruise ship's Wi-Fi. Um, when I tried to set up the live stream, I had a lot of trouble with Google. It kept saying that it was uh, processing stuff, and it took forever and never did come up. So I'm not even certain that I can post this video after I get it done, but I wanted to try. Um, for all of you who are interested in where I've gone and all that kind of stuff, I will probably do a video at the end of all of the trip and recalculate that for people who are interested, and I will designate it as a non-legal video so that people who are not interested in that don't have to sit through it and won't be sort of clickbaited into thinking that it's a legal video, because it won't be. In legal topics, however, I found the Adelson trial to be very interesting so far. I haven't had a lot of time to spend with it, at least not as much as I would like. I thought the openings were very good by both sides, and I felt like the defense has a long way to go, especially if the state can prove everything that it says that it can prove. But again, that's always the case in a high-profile case like this, because prosecutors don't take cases to trial that they're not 99% sure they can get a conviction on, so that when they don't get a conviction, it really is a shock to them. A couple of things just in general that I noticed, and I think might be of interest to folks. The fact that they are going after Donna seems to me that they are, at least for the moment, not real keen on trying to prosecute Wendy, because Wendy has behaved reasonably carefully and hasn't done a lot of things to bring herself up on the radar of the prosecution. And that, I think, is, I know there are a lot of people who believe that she is guilty all day long, but I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen anything really that causes me to believe that she was directly involved. I realize one of the killers said that it was done at her, I forget whether it was on her behalf or at her request or something like that. But again, you got to kind of discount that, because they know they're in jail for life and they would love to get a reduction in their sentence. And the only real way to do that is to put somebody else in prison. So again, you have to be really careful about believing anything that a criminal tells you. They always have an angle to manipulate you, and they're not shy about doing it in front of juries. I've seen it numerous times. With that said, I wanted to talk a little bit about the questioning of Rob Adelson. I'm going to play a little bit here, and then I'm going to have some comments.
Med school, went on to residency. Throughout those years, did you continue to talk to your parents and your siblings on a regular basis?
Yes.
And would you see them a couple of times a year?
Yes.
When you were in school, would you go home for the summer?
Yes.
Based on your personal observations throughout your life, of your parents and of your siblings, who is the leader in the family? Who tends to run the show?
I think my mom.
Okay, so Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Would you describe Donna Adelson's personality as being more controlling or more laid back?
I think more on the controlling side.
What about, is she kind of a more assertive person or a more passive person?
A more assertive.
So the first thing I noticed here is there are a lot of compound questions. Let's look at a couple.
Would you describe Donna Adelson's personality as being more controlling or more laid back?
I think more on the controlling side.
What about, is she kind of a more assertive person or a more passive person?
A more assertive.
Now, compound questions are questions that include numerous facts or more than one fact, and if you answer yes, then you're answering yes to all of them, and that is a trap, and as a result, courts don't allow it, but the defense has to object. And in this case, they didn't object. Normally, defense attorneys don't give the prosecution any quarter on that. They go after them when they ask leading questions. And again, that's a leading question. Listen to this again, and you can see how it's a leading question.
Would you describe Donna Adelson's personality as being more controlling or more laid back?
I think more on the controlling side.
What about, is she kind of a more assertive person or a more passive person?
A more assertive.
Did you notice that she gave two choices? Was it more controlling or more laid back? Well, the problem with that is that it's suggesting an answer. And it's not saying, well, he could say that she was manipulative, or that she was just as easygoing as pie. And the reason that you don't allow people to do that on direct examination is because the prosecution has the burden of proof. And she's loading up the table with these leading questions, and the defense should absolutely be objecting to those, and I don't know why they're not. So again, a lot of times people try the go along to get along routine in these trials, and it's okay to do that after the courthouse doors close, right? After you go home for night, it's fine to sit down and have a drink with your opposing counsel. That lawyers do that all the time. But in the courtroom, when you're battling for a client, you absolutely have to leave no stone unturned. And I am a little bit amazed that they're not doing more in the way of objecting. Now, when they have objected, they have been able to get some pretty good rulings from this trial judge, and the trial judge is, I think, pretty good. The one question that I do have is they make this objection about hearsay. Watch.
How did Donna tell you that, or did she tell you that how Wendy was planning to leave Dan Markell and give him the news that she was leaving the marriage?
Object to hearsay.
Well, the only problem, of course, with that objection is that Donna Adelson is a party opponent. And because she's a party opponent, it's not hearsay. It's exempt from the hearsay rule. So again, there should have been absolutely no reason to even consider that objection, but the judge did the right thing, listened to the argument, and then ruled in favor of the prosecution.
You may continue with your examination.
I thought overall Wendy's testimony, when it came off pretty good, except for the cross-examination, and many of you have probably seen some of the clips of her cross-examination on other channels. I'm not going to go through that here, other than to say that, again, I think she did a reasonable job and came through reasonably well in terms of what she did. We'll have to see how the jury responds to her testimony. But again, both Rob and Wendy painted a picture of Donna Adelson as a control freak, and I think that goes a long way toward helping the state prove its case. What's really interesting here is that you have this controlling, domineering mom, and everybody knows this, and yet these are her kids, and they're coming to trial, and they are, basically oiling up the lock on the handcuffs for the prosecution. I find that pretty interesting. Well, at any rate, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully this will actually get through and get posted. I appreciate you being here, and I will catch you here the next time.